Hi folks, welcome to my channel. I'm Betafpv and this is my review on my latest build. Right, okay, so this is my Modular, it was a Modular7 that was in a Betafpv frame. It's now a Modular. It's a MOBLITE7 with walk snail on there, and if you notice on the back, I've also got a little receiver there. That's a ceramic antenna, express ELRS receiver that I had to solder on there, because the SPI receiver that's inbuilt on this is well, it's very low on signal. There's something wrong with it. I think it's I don't know, it's broken or something, but yeah, so I've put that on there. Yeah, so this is a Betafpv frame. It's a Meteor 75 Pro. What I've done, I don't know if this camera can pick it up, but it's got the walk snail system in it, and it's got the MOBLITE7 flight board on it, because it's a bit of a different one to the MOBLITE7. I've also fitted a PH2 connector on there. Sorry, a BT02 connector, because the flight times are very low. Now, the reason I've done this, I've toilet tanked the I've got the configuration this way as well. See, like the battery goes across rather than I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I prefer the flight characteristics that way, and two, I wanted the USB to be clear of the battery. See, like that's where the battery would normally, where the USB would normally go, right there. It was sitting very close to the battery, and it made the USB going in and out a little bit tricky. But I mean, it wasn't a deal breaker, but I wanted it over here. Plus, I prefer as I said, the flight characteristics of the battery being there. The only downside of that is, because these motors are soldered in, I had to strip the whole lot down with all the motors still soldered on the flight board. So that made getting it in and out of the frame a bit tricky, and the wires kind of get in the way when you slide the battery in and out. You have to kind of move them out of the way to do it. Don't just ram a battery straight into it, because you'll pull on the motor wires. But if you move them out of the way and slowly slide the battery in, you'll be alright. Yeah, so this has got the walk snail avatar system on it. I had to mount this here because there was no room in there, and the antenna would have been all out, you know, it would have been on the wrong angle. So I mounted it there. That was a pain in the butt to do, I tell you, soldering all that. The pads are so tiny on this flight controller, it's a joke. But yeah, I managed to do it. Yeah, so the reason I did this was I found the MOBLITE7. I didn't really find it very light at all. I found it very, very heavy and very bobbly on the throttle. Plus the flight times were terrible, absolutely terrible. So my thinking with going with the tri-blades is this now weighs 35 grams, so it's added another, I think, 1.5 maybe 2.5 grams more, but a lot of that was to do with the ELRS thing on the back. But yeah, it's put on a lot of weight, but it's got bigger props, so I'm gonna get more lift out of it than I did before, because they're only 40mm props, and of course these are 1002 motors. So yeah, I've already flown this indoors, and the hover value was about 30%. Mind you, saying that was on a half dead battery. I plugged one in straight from storage charge just to see if everything was alright, like the motors would spin and the receiver was working and all that. So I just gave it a quick sort of like fly around my living room. Well, that's if you can call it a fly. It's just to test it out. And also I flew it in FPV because I wanted to make sure that the avatar system was working as well, that I didn't bugger any of the wires up as I was soldering it on, because I've got a 5V pad on here, and but I didn't do that on the power lead on the ELRS thing. What I done was I piggybacked the live wire from the battery lead, which is also where the avatar 3V lead goes to. So instead of putting it on a 5V pad, I piggybacked it onto the live lead, because this doesn't go up to 5V. It's 4.35 at the very most, and even then it's only for a few seconds. So I still wanted the receiver to work even if the battery was running really low. So yeah, that's why I did it that way. Yeah, that's about it then. I'll put some flight footage on it as it's HD, and you can see how it flies. Personally, I think it flies a lot better than than what it was, the MOBLITE7. I don't know. I just found it was very sort of bobbly and very clumsy. But it's all right. But we'll see how this one goes anyway. I haven't flown this outside yet, so you'll be the first to see. Anyway, that's it for now, folks. Enjoy the flight, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hi, folks. Welcome to my video. This is the flight footage, and yeah, I'm still having receiver problems, so I'm keeping it pretty close by. I can't remember whether I selected 1080p or 720p. I think I set one for one flight and one for another flight, but I can't remember. Also, I forgot to change the milliwatts as well. Both these flights are on 25 milliwatts on 60 frames per second. So yeah, I forgot to change that as well. Yeah, so I'm just bimbling about and just flying around these trees, just making sure everything's alright. I'm not doing anything fancy. It was a bit breezy, and yeah, I was watching the RX on the TX on the on-screen display, and although it was reading normally, it would fail safe if I got too far. So I don't know what's going on now. I didn't actually. Well, I fail safe once, and that was at the other end of that field. So I know it's definitely something's not right. Maybe it's the setup or something. But yeah, this seems to be flying okay. I'm definitely flying on lower throttle, and I did get 5 minutes out of a 520 battery. So my conclusion was right about the props and the efficiency. It's certainly better than what it was. I was no way getting that before on the 40mm props on the other frame. I I was lucky if I can get 2.5 minutes out of it, but or maybe 3 tops. But yeah, this is definitely better. I mean, I'm only going slow, but I was testing a few things on this, so that's why I wasn't doing flippy floppies. Also, the grass is quite tall, so it don't look it, but it's quite tall, and to down a little thing like this, it would take ages to find. I've actually spent half an hour walking around, and I knew where I crashed. I spent half an hour the other week rooting around trying to find stuff here, but and that was on a 75mm as well. So this is closer to 80mm, but it's still a nightmare. And where I was standing as well, it stunk of doggy doo. So that was really annoying me. But yeah, I managed to step in it afterwards as well, which didn't improve the mood I was in. But yeah, so more testing to do on this. But yeah, it's flying all right. It's just a range issue. I just got to go back into Betaflight and check a few things. Something's not right. I know it's not the wiring, but yeah, it's got to be sorted out. The sun had gone in as well at this point, so you know, maybe that's why it's not that clear. But yeah, it's certainly better to fly. I can fly through trees and stuff and see ghost branches a lot better. I just wish I bumped up the milliwatts on this. I totally forgot. There's so much to think about when you're setting up. You know, like the VRX is overheating as well. So you've got to get flying more or less straight away. You can't just sit there with the battery, you know, sitting idle, because it'll just overheat and the goggles will just go black, you know, where the VTX is on shutdown. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. And that's just one of the things I forgot. There was a few settings I was going to do on this, but completely forgot. I just wanted to get up, get flying, and cool that VRX down, or the VTX, whatever it's called. But yeah, it does get hot pretty quick, and it goes into shutdown mode, and the goggles just end up going black. I've actually had that while I was flying. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.